Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Caroline Lee. I'm a Diamond doTERRA Wellness Advocate. I'm so excited for you to join me on this perfect day to talk about emotional wellness. I'm looking out my window and it is rainy and looking pretty dreary here in Georgia. But I'm so excited for you to come and learn more in this 8-week series with us. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up my screen share so that I can show you some visual representations of what we're going to talk about tonight. So as I mentioned before, this is an 8-week series. This is going to be class number 4. But if you've missed any of the 8 weeks and you're watching the recording, you can always go back to my YouTube channel. My channel is Caroline Lee, doTERRA Diamond Wellness Advocate. Just type that in the search engine and you'll be able to find me there. And this is found in the classes folder at the very bottom of the channel. So you'll be able to review all of this. Now, last week, we did talk about weight control and we focused on supporting the metabolism and really how lifestyle choices and doTERRA products can complement each other and really help control weight. And that I think is important for anybody at any age. So definitely make sure you go back to class 3 and take a look at what we talked about. Now, class number 4 is, like I said, emotional health and mood management. And I'd have to be honest with you, when I first started with essential oils, I really didn't explore a lot about mood management with the oils, although aromatherapy is really popular. Like we think about smelling something and we feel good, you know, so we like that smell, so we keep that going. But I never was really proactive. It took me probably a good 6 months before I really started looking into the emotional health. And now it's a daily practice. You know, my younger kids actually pick a color and the smell that they like, and they put that on before they go to school. So definitely we're talking about the importance of a routine and just recognizing how you're feeling. So before we go in there, let's talk a little bit about positive stress and negative stress. So positive stress is like what we call eustress. This is stuff that kind of gets you going. It helps you take responsibility and stepping up. And so that's a kind of good stress. There's de-stress, which this is really the negative. This is when you have a continuous challenge that keeps you from getting any relief or relaxation. You're constantly on kind of overload. And really, distress can make you feel overworked and have a lot of tension. It also can lead to physical symptoms, including like things like upset stomach and headaches, elevated blood pressure, chest pains, problems sleeping. So really research has suggested that stress can even worsen certain symptoms of diseases too. So that's really important that we take a look at the effects that the de-stress is having. Now, I wanted to give you some really startling statistics that I found from the National Institute of Medical Health and the American Heart Association that kind of give you how important this is. Like, this is an epidemic. Like, we really need to start paying attention to our emotional health. But 43% of all adults suffer adverse effects from stress. 75% to 90% of all doctor visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. Think about that. That is like amazing. It's a $300 billion industry when it comes to dealing with stress, and especially stress in the workplace. Let's see, preschoolers are the fastest growing age group being prescribed antidepressants. And there's an estimated 4% of those preschoolers that are clinically depressed. And that is pretty scary. You know, preschooler, I have a preschooler. She's 4 years old. I can't imagine putting her on medication to deal with her moods and emotions. But now depression will be the second largest killer after heart disease by the year 2020. Isn't that incredible? And studies show that depression is the contributing factor to fatal heart disease. Anxiety disorders are the #1 mental health problem in America, surpassing even depression numbers. So how many of you know somebody who has anxious feelings and have, kind of have the tendency of just being really nervous and uncomfortable all the time? Now, stress also contributes to things like alcoholism, obesity, suicide, drug addiction, smoking, harmful behaviors. And so this becomes really crucial. We need to start paying attention to the bad stress that we're dealing with and find a way to deal with it and to decompress. So last statistic is, according to the Prevention magazine, this is their quote: "It is estimated that 90% of all physical problems have psychological roots. That may sound like a gross exaggeration. In fact, it's probably a conservative estimate. A growing body of evidence indicates that virtually every ill that can befall the body, from acne to arthritis, headaches to heart disease, cold sores to cancers, is influenced for better or for worse by our emotions." And that is just really crucial. Like, what are you doing right now? Just think about it. What are you doing right now to help with your stress, with the emotions that you're feeling? Are you doing anything to manage your mood? The good news is essential oils can help that. And in order to understand how they can help, we have to understand a little bit about brain chemistry. Now, we have all of our feelings and our thinking. They're all done by electricity and chemicals. And we have about 100,000 miles of blood vessels in the brain. Okay, and if we stretched out those blood vessels, they would circle the earth 4 times. That's pretty incredible. So blood vessels, lots of blood vessels in the brain, and they work electricity and chemicals. It's really important to understand that. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the blood-brain barrier, because this is really important to understand. This is one of the most guarded areas of the body, and really there's not a lot of things that get into that area because we don't want them messing with our brain, right? With all the things that are going on there. But only small size molecules can actually penetrate it. And those are typically lipid soluble. And they usually have to be about less than 800 AMUs, which is atomic mass unit. And definitely is really, there's not a lot of things that pass that. So why do essential oils work? Okay, well, first of all, they're very small and they are lipid molecules. In fact, they are less than, let me look at my notes, less than 500 AMU. Most of them are. So that is really important. They can pass that blood-brain barrier of them. And they can support the physical, they can support the mental and emotional and spiritual aspects of the body. Which is really, really important. And really, by applying 1 drop of the essential oils, they can have a really fast effect with minutes. And we've done that a lot of times where we've been upset, or we've had like even a tantrum child. We'll swipe like lavender across her forehead, and we'll actually watch in a couple of minutes her calming down. So just really incredible how essential oils work. Now, really the power of aroma. Many people just underestimate the power of aroma and the benefits it has. And I just wanted to share a fun story about how quickly the essential oils changed my friend. He was going to write a really mean response. He was very upset by somebody who wrote something on Facebook, and he was going to just tell him, off. And I'm the peacemaker in my family in the middle of 7 kids. And so I'm just trying to talk him out, And he was determined to go ahead and do that. So he left the room. Before he left, I had given him earlier that day a glass full of water. And then I used the CPTG Wild Orange that doTERRA has. And I put a few drops in there to kind of encourage him hydration, because we were trying to get him off of sodas and encourage him to drink more water. So your citrus from doTERRA, can actually help with that, or at least that's what I found. And so I gave him some water with citrus oils. And so anyways, he storms off. The next thing I know, he comes in and he bangs his hand against the wall. And it totally startles me. And he's like, "This stuff works." Like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "I was going to write that message." And I grabbed my water and I started to drink the water. And all I could smell was that sweet, wild orange smell. The freshest oranges that I've ever smelled. And I could smell them and look at my face. I can't even stop smiling. He goes, it changed my mood that fast. And so I think people just don't think about that. They don't think that you can change how you're currently feeling really, really fast just by smelling. Now, why are we going to diffuse? Now, the sense of smell is 10,000 times more sensitive than any other sense. And that's pretty dramatic. You know, I don't know, you smells change and you can have immediate response when a smell changes with your mood, even memory. Like going to the airport, you'll smell cinnamon, and cinnamon is known just for a calming effect on the body. It reminds you of your grandma's cinnamon rolls, right, as growing up. But they can really almost immediately affect the mood, memory, and ease tension. Okay. Now and that's one of my secrets as a mom, is secretly diffusing. So if I notice that in the room people are just on edge, and I notice it because I have to notice it, right? That's part of mood management, is noticing it, is how I'm feeling and how other people are feeling. And that's my secret, is diffusing, putting happy oils in the diffuser when people are grumpy, and making an effort to change that. So let's talk a little bit about the olfactory system. Now, when you breathe an essential oil molecule in, they are received by the brain's olfactory center via the nose, right? The nostril. This activates a central part of the brain called the amygdala. I hope I can say that. Amygdala. I can't even say that right. You guys can see it on here, right? Amygdala. It manages your memories and emotions. And the only way that the amygdala responds is through the smell, right? Spoken word or written word doesn't activate that part of the brain. Okay, it only responds to aroma. So that becomes really, really important when you're using your oils, right? You're smelling and you are activating that center of emotions. All right, so let's also understand a little bit of the limbic system. Essential oils can communicate to the limbic system, limbic system, to recall or to release stored emotions and memories. It can even recall memories that have been stored since childhood. I've noticed that there's some oils that I have just distaste. I just didn't like the smell of it. But when I looked it up in my essential oil reference book, it had to do with some emotions, some memories that I had in previous years that I didn't want to deal with. So it was just kind of really interesting how this can interact. Essential oils can interact in the limbic system to recall and release those emotions and memories. So as we get deeper into the body, we now have gone beyond the sense of smell into the brain, which is the limbic system, the emotion system. And that's really what we're after, right? We really are so we want to stimulate the amygdala, but then also have it go to the limbic system to really deal with those emotions. Okay. So our emotions are complex interplay of emotional and physical components. So let's take a look about that and how we can draw our awareness on our smells, our aromas, and create an amazing physical and emotional response. So there is that connection, remember? So these are some continuums. The first one is emotional, and that one is either you have lack of peace or lack of passion. So that's kind of the spectrum that it goes on with the emotions. And then you have your physical, where you're stressed, and then you also get really fatigued. So that's kind of the range that we're going to talk about. And this is called what I call the mood matrix. And they are actually going to be, these quadrants are kind of, what do I want to say here? They're going to cross. They're, to help us, where is it in my notes, guys? I'm sorry. So we're going to look at the two continuums to identify which quadrant, starting at the top left, and we're going to go clockwise. we're going to experience these oils. So we're going to see what we have when we're feeling fatigued and not having any peace. When we're going to have fatigue and no passion, and then maybe no passion and stress, and then stressed and no peace. So we're going to kind of go around the matrix a little bit about this one. And we're going to talk about a little bit about some of the emotions that we're feeling. And in each of these quadrants, whether it's we need to invigorate and stimulate, or we need to encourage and cheer ourselves up, or whether we need some reassuring or console. So as you can see, we're going to go in each of these quadrants and address the emotional and the physical that is actually happening at that time. So the very first one that we're going to recognize are Serenity, and this is an oil blend specifically formulated to help with having no peace and fatigue, maybe having just really hard time relaxing. So these are oils like lavender, cedarwood, hoewood, ylang-ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, and Hawaiian sandalwood. And I love that they added vanilla bean extract to that blend. And this one definitely does help with a lot of calming in the body and calming in the emotions. So it's a great blend to use. All right, so calming promotes a restful sleep. So if you're having trouble sleeping, it's definitely when you're super stressed, it's going to lessen tension as well. All right, so now we're going to move on to the second quadrant. So this is going to deal with being fatigued and just really having no motivation to do this. So we're looking for something that's going to be stimulating, invigorating, help with feelings of maybe even frustration. And that's our citrus bliss. It's amazing aroma. It reminds me of a creamsicle popsicle in the summer times when you'd have it. Definitely boosting, clearing, and elevating. It's definitely a really good oil for getting yourself motivated to go move and move. Now we're going to move into the third quadrant, and this is where we're going to feel like just really no motivation, no passion, but we're really, really stressed out. And so we're going to use something called the Joyful Blend, which is elevation to help us encourage us to move forward. So it definitely is a very uplifting scent. It's got, sandalwood is kind of the woody grounding oil in there. And then you have lots of citrus oils that bring happiness, like lavender, tangerine, lemon, melissa, ylang-ylang, osmanthus, and sandal. I already mentioned sandalwood in there. So this is really going to be mood elevating, energizing, and promoting a positive mood. And I love, let me go back here. I remember playing a video game with my brother-in-law, and he was losing. You know, it was a rarity, right? I was actually beating him. And he paused the game before the last level and was like, wait a minute, I need to go get some elevation, because he knew that he was losing passion in there. He was getting tired and he was getting stressed because he was losing to his sister-in-law. So I just had to laugh at that. He recognized that, and he went and he got this oil. All right, so we're going to move on to the fourth quadrant, which is going to deal with being stressed and having no peace. And so then we want to look for oils that are going to be grounding, reassuring, and consoling. And so balanced oil is a great oil for this. We always want to stay grounded when storms of life come about us. We want to, and we can usually stay easily rooted if we're using oils in this way. So creates calm and well-being, promotes whole body relaxation. So this is a good oil to use at the beginning of your day and at the end of your day, just to help you stay rooted. I also like the oil blend. There's another oil blend called Anchor that definitely feels very grounding for me. But this is our tantrum oil. So if I'm having a tantrum, or if my 2-year-old's having a tantrum, we are going to grab that balance out as well. Now, we have this amazing new system that came out in the last couple of years from doTERRA. It's called the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. And this is what I was talking to you about. I have my kids pick out what color. And it's amazing how in tune our kids are to what they need. Sometimes they have to smell the oils and decide which one they would like. But most of the time they'll pick it via the color, and it's perfectly fitted for what they're currently feeling. So this has 6 unique oil blends that have really carefully been formulated to provide targeted emotional health. And I'm going to teach you how you can utilize this. It's got an amazing chart on here that have all the emotions, like the emotions wheel is what we call it, that we could be feeling, you know, where the essential oils can actually address those. So whether we're feeling a little anxious, whether we're feeling bored or we're grieving, we can pick an emotion that we're feeling here, and then it's going to give us an oil family as well as a specific blend that doTERRA has. Now, if you go back to class number 1, we talked about the characteristics of essential oils based on where they are distilled from, the part of the plant, you know, where they come from. Really, they have common characteristics. So if, like for instance, I like thinking about citrus. Where does citrus grow? Well, they're usually in a hot, warm climate, tropical place, right? They grow high in the trees, so they're very uplifting and they're elevating. They make people feel happy, like when you do that. Whereas, you know, maybe your tree oils, you think of a tree being tall and recycling feelings and helping you go through a process, and the roots growing deep down into the ground to hold you steady. So that's going to help with the grieving and the sad and feeling ashamed, because the physical properties of where they're coming. So I would tell you guys, if you don't have this, you know, citrus oil, you know, or this particular blend, grab the family blend and your family oil, like a citrus oil or a spice oil, and start utilizing that. But this kit is great for emotions and being able to identify it. And I love the fact that this kit also comes in roller balls. So when you're applying it for emotions, as we're going to start talking about it, we're going to be applying it on our wrists. We're going to be putting it in diffusers. We're going to put a drop in our hand and smell it. We're going to be using aromatherapy jewelry and beads to kind of diffuse it that way. And so it has the topical with the roller balls, which are easy to apply, as well as these oil bottles, 5 ml bottles, where you can put them in your diffuser. So we're going to break down each of these real quickly and talk about a little bit of the chemistry of it, because we are going beyond the basics. And so I want to talk a little bit about the chemistry of it, and then give you some real life use for each of these. So motivate. I'm gonna yawn. Sorry, guys. Whew. I'm recording this in the morning, and it's, like I said, a rainy day, so I'm still waking up, right? All right, so chemistry of motivate. So it's really formulated with a blend of citrus and mint oils, such as yazoo, clementine, and peppermint. And these oils come together to create a chemical profile that is high in monoterpenes and alcohols. And that really allows an uplifting and toning properties of the oil. So that's why they particularly put those oils together. So if you feel too often that you're feeling not worthy, or you're having apprehensions or weaknesses that can cloud your thoughts and limit your potential, you may want to consider using Motivate, especially if they're starting to weigh down on you. Motivate will help boost a positive emotion in you and promote feelings of confidence, courage, and belief, and will help you become more inspired and more positive. So it's definitely a really good one as well. It helps you just stay motivated so you can complete those endeavors that you're doing, and give you the confidence that you need to be your best. Now, Cheer oil is made up of citrus and spice oils, which contribute to a warming and inviting nature. Now, the chemical design of Cheer really is promotes sorry, my notes doesn't show what it was. Includes, all right, I don't know what it includes there chemically. But it is promotes uplifting feelings of positivity. So I don't know, it was going to say something like monoterpenes, that kind of thing. It's not showing up on my notes, I apologize. But really it is warming and inviting. So it's going to positively uplifting, with the citrus in there. Really great to use on days like this where it's dark and dreary. So when you have tensions arising, if you feel overwhelmed, you want a better positive, this Cheer is one that's really good. If you need a pick-me-up, Cheer is a good one for it. You can also place a drop of oil on a cotton ball or a terracotta plate and put it in your car and then diffuse it that way. Especially if you have a morning commute or you're driving the kids around, that can actually brighten everybody's spirits and help their day go on. I'd say if you're feeling lonely or you have negative emotions creep in, Cheer is also really good for that. And a good diffuser for Cheer, it doesn't even show it on here. I'll have to get that to you. So definitely, it's not showing on my notes. It just says 1 drop of blank and 1 drop of blank to your diffuser. So definitely Cheer is good oil to put by itself in a diffuser on there. I apologize for that, guys. All right, so we're going to move on to Passion, and it really combines spice and herbal oils in there. These mixtures of oils create a chemical profile of high concentration of phenols and esters, and that really has a renewing and warming effect in the body. So if you're feeling like your day-to-day routine is getting kind of dull and monotonous, use your Passion to kind of change that up. It's definitely a really good one to put on your pulse points to ignite feelings of excitement, passion, and joy. And then also if you have negative feelings, really of boredom or just of not being able to get things done, Passion is a really good oil. You can diffuse that as well in the morning to feel energized and enthused. Really, it's a good oil for that. All right, we have Forgive. Now, Forgive uses a combination of tree and herb essential oils, and its chemical profile is very diverse and has a high concentrated of monoterpene esters and alcohols. Now, these chemicals help balance emotions in circumstances of frustration and stress. And additionally, essential oils such as thyme oil and other tree oils produce the renewing and toning properties of the doTERRA Forgive. Now, due to this scientific combination of oils, the chemical properties of the Forgive blend can assist in dissipating negative emotions while liberating the feelings of forgiveness. And I think that everybody at some point has been hurt, is holding a grudge, feel betrayed, maybe feel bitterness. And so I think everybody needs Forgive at some point in their life. For me, this is something I'm like overcritical of myself sometimes. And so this is an oil that I go to quite often. I actually, when I smell all the emotional oils, this is the one that I crave the most. It smells the most appealing to me. Because I need some contentment, I need some relief, I need some additional patience, right? So it's definitely a good one for your pulse points. And it helps reduce those negative emotions. Sometimes we have those negative emotions in ourselves, sometimes it's towards other people. And so we want to make sure that we're besides just meditating or maybe doing yoga, but we're doing something to counteract the guilt, the anger, those emotions that really can damage ourselves. So definitely a really good oil to use for that. All right, I'm going to keep going to Console. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the chemical part of this. Now, Console is composed of tree and flower components. I think of this as really natural, like when somebody passes away, oftentimes you give flowers. Well, these have a lot of flora oils in there. So they have their alcohols and monoterpenes. These chemical components provide grounding and renewing elements. And really, it's really good for warding off anger, sadness, and hopeless feelings. So it's chemically really designed to do that, and it gives an extra dose of comfort. Really, when you feel like you need to reflect and rebuild, I think it's really important to help through the grieving process. So this one definitely can help with relieving feelings of anger, guilt, grief. And so it helps with going through the grieving process, any disappointments. So this is a really good oil blend. I have had a lot of friends who have lost somebody. That Console is an oil that I just give to them to help them diffuse, to help feel, go through that grieving process, because it needs to happen. We need to feel those emotions, but we don't need to stay stuck in those emotions. So we want to make sure we're going through them. And so I think when it comes to using this particular blend, it's not going to be something that's going to resolve it in a instantly. You'll feel better, but I think this is the one that you need to really use on a daily basis. It may take you a couple of months or even years using this oil to help with, especially with a dramatic loss. But using it consistently can really help you with getting a good night's sleep, and really can help you through that process a little bit faster. So definitely helps you reflect, recharge, and rebuild. I like those words. All right, so Peace. Now this, it consists of most relaxing and calming oils, so like the mint and the florals. And they're really, they're chemically profile put together for rich monoterpene esters and alcohols. And they provide toning and renewing experiences. Okay, so very calming and relaxing. They're very tranquil. So if you need peace, contentment, and reassurance, Peace is a really good one. And it's funny, I have seen my kids oftentimes when they have a really emotional morning, they will grab this one. They may not even realize that this is the one they're doing, but it's perfect to help with them, calming them down. So definitely a good night one for good night's sleep. So you can diffuse this one or wear that. If you get nervous easily, this is a very good one for calming things down. And then obviously tantrums. This is another tantrum oil, whether it's you as an adult or you as a child. This is a really good one to apply on the bottoms of the feet when you're upset, that kind of thing. All right, I apologize for starting to put some peppermint on so I wake up a little bit. All right, we are almost done. So we're going to talk also about In Tune, which is our focusing blend. And when we talk about how our thoughts and our feelings create our actions and really have a positive or negative effect on the body, we really want to pay attention to what our thoughts are. So this is a great oil that you can use to create your alertness and your thought processing. I love that it has frankincense in there, lime, and Hawaiian sandalwood. And I've had a lot of people who have said that it's cleared away the clutter in their thoughts. Like instead of having a million thoughts, sometimes it reduces it down so you can think clearly. So I really love that about this. And it has calming properties too with these oils. So it has focus and attention and then calming as well. So it definitely is a good one to do. Now, I think your routine is important. And I've mentioned that throughout this, that, where you apply it or how you use it becomes really, really important to you. So a lot of times I'll just get the emotional oils out for my kids or for myself, and I will pick an oil that kind of speaks to me. And then sometimes that is smelling the oil. That is seeing how they smell. Sometimes it's just journaling my feelings. What am I feeling now? Recognizing those feelings and then going, okay, identifying those emotions and then picking an oil. But I think becoming consistent with it becomes really important. So morning and night, look at your emotions. If you're really frazzled or upset, look at what you can do to change those, alter that, whether that's diffusing right off the bat, whether that is putting on your pulse points, wearing jewelry that have it on there. I think being proactive is really, really crucial. If I know I'm going to have a super stressful day, then I'll grab the oils that help deal with stress and tension. If I know that it's going to be an emotional day because yesterday I went to my pre-K's graduation. She's going to be starting kindergarten. She's my baby. I was getting a little emotional. Maybe I would have grabbed the Peace oil and put that on before I attended that. So I'm a little bit more proactive in that and creating a routine So I'm using something for my emotions every single day. So this is just an example of somebody that maybe has occasional depression or anxious feelings, what they might do. So just give you an idea. Sometimes people need it multiple times during the day. Other times it's just in the beginning or in the evening. So just to give you an idea on that. All right. Ooh. Recommended reading. So if you really want to learn more about emotions, how they interact in the body, and how you can find some resources on how to find that. These are two excellent books, Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die by Carol K. Truman. I love this one. This one really made a huge impact on me, realizing that I can identify emotion and physically and find an oil that will help release that emotion and help me process that emotion so I don't get stuck and carry that feeling forever. Because too many of those feelings cause bad things and we don't want to do that. And then these emotional reference book over here on the left, that's really, really good. You can look up oils, individual oils, and find out what their emotional properties are. So that really helps identify maybe if there's an oil that you don't really like the smell, or an oil that you really crave. You can kind of find out maybe emotionally, why is that? Really good reference for those things. There's also an app that I really recommend called the Essential Emotional Reference app. And I don't remember how much this is. It is one you'll have to pay for. I think it's less than $10. But this one really helps you identify. You can do it by emotion, you can do it by oil, or you can do it by body. But it gives you an idea of, to identify something right then and find a solution. So I love, even on the body, it will even tell you where to apply it, and maybe even some affirmations, some thoughts and things to say to help curb those thoughts and maybe help out a little bit. So I really like this. If you have the doTERRA Daily Drop app, there is Find Your Mood. You can rate yourself and then press the show the results, and it will tell you what oils that they suggest to diffuse or put on your pulse points. So definitely there, and that's a free app that you can use, is the doTERRA Daily Drop app. So definitely really good ones. These are two that I use quite a lot on. So now I'm going to just talk about, obviously you guys have your oils, you have your account. Definitely going to encourage you to purchase all your oils on the Loyalty Rewards program. This is a monthly optional program that you can change the amount of items on there every single month, and it just automatically sends it to you. Of course, the longer you're on the program, and your volume reflects on how much product credits that you can get back to get more free product, which I think everybody likes getting free stuff. I think at Costco, you only get 2% back. I think I get 2% back on all my purchases. And I've done this Loyalty Rewards program now for several years. I'm at the 30%. So I get 30% back in product points, and I get all of my shipping back, which is a double bonus, right? All right, and then also if you process your rewards program before the 15th of the month, just a reminder, if it's 125 PV or more, or point value, you get a free product that month. So it's whatever doTERRA decides, and so way to go, right? A bonus there. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk to you about the business opportunity, because honestly, I think about 90% of people who are in doTERRA were oil users who had amazing experiences that started sharing it with their family, because everybody has mood issues, right? Everybody needs emotional support. And maybe you become an expert because you've used it with your family and have had amazing experiences. So if you are interested in learning more about the business, these are some of the ways that we can get paid. Just contact the wellness advocate that is introduced you to essential oils, and they can go more into detail about how to get started in building doTERRA, as well as how to be successful at it, right? And pick your level. I love how you can choose your level of commitment and what you want to get done. So next class. Hopefully you guys have really enjoyed this class, have been yawning like me, right? Ooh, early morning classes. Oh, goodness. Hopefully you're going to be watching this later on the day and you're wide awake, right? So our next class is going to be Healthy Home and Body. And we're really going to talk about why we would consider like looking at things like cleaning products and skin products, why looking at the ingredients list is really important, and how essential oils could play a role in that. So I hope you I hope you join me. There we go. For the next class. You know, you don't have to be perfect. As you can see, I'm not perfect at teaching people about essential oils, but I do have a passion in that. You can follow me on YouTube at Caroline Lee, doTERRA Diamond Wellness Advocate. You can find all of my recorded classes there. We do have an active Facebook group too, so you can message me on Facebook and become friends, and I can add you to that group as well. But it's so important to keep learning about the benefits of essential oils. You can see all this great information there on that YouTube channel, as well as following doTERRA on their social media platforms as you continue your education and you go beyond just the basics of essential oils. So hopefully you'll join me for, why do I keep wanting to say enjoy? Because maybe hopefully you're enjoying this, I don't know. But hopefully you'll join me for future educations and trainings. And I really hope that for you as well, that you see hope and healing in your family. So take care.